Welcome back to the Paddy Power Poker School. These are some common drawing hands and situations in Texas Hold'em poker. Now, they might look like weak hands at first glance, but it is these very type of hands that can create a profitable strategy for you long term. These are drawing hands, and in fact the most common draws you'll be playing for, straights and flushes. Now, since you already know about playing a strong position game in poker from our other Paddy Power Poker video, you already understand how to keep your entry costs low for such hands, and that's good. But it's one thing to get into a hand at the right price. It's quite another thing to make sure you're getting the right price to draw to a winning hand. To do so, you need to understand pot odds. Know the outs for the two most common types of draws, being flushes and straights. And you also have to be able to factor in implied odds where applicable. We'll get to that in a moment. Straights can earn you bigger pots because they are often more concealed from your opponents. So let's deal with a common straight draw here, where in this example you called 20 cents in a micro-limit game holding 9-7 suited in late position. You were getting great odds in position, so I think it's actually a mistake to fold a hand like this. So here's the flop, Ace-6-8 rainbow. You know what? This is one of the best flops you could hope for because with an ace on board, there's going to be more money moving into this pot, and you are more likely to get paid off if you hit your straight. This is an open-ended straight draw, meaning if one end or the other fills up on the turn or river, you are going to have the nuts, which is the best possible hand. So you are looking for a 5 or a 10, right? Now, if one of those cards comes on the turn or river, weaker players will have a very difficult time figuring out what you have, and that's only if they try. Now, because this is a limit game and you're in position with multiple players in the pot, it makes mathematical sense to pay to see the turn, and most likely the river too. Here you have to call a small bet to see the next card, but at a glance, you know that you're getting better than 10-1 odds right now. Remember, if you are getting better odds to call than the probability of your draw coming, then you cannot fold here whether your draw comes in or not this time. This is a positive expectation over time, or in poker, often phrased as positive EV. So you call, and the small blind closes the betting. Even if there was a re-raise after you, you should still call here because the pot will be offering you even better odds to draw for your straight. Now let's change the circumstances up a bit with this draw, and let's say that you only have one opponent who is a small blind, which gave you a free check at the flop from the big blind, which is where you are. Now you do have a straight draw after the flop, but it's the small blind who decides to bet out. Looks like he probably has an ace here, or at least some high cards. But the real problem for you is how small the pot is. Now you're only getting 3-1 pot odds with a 5-1 chance of hitting your straight. Sure, there are other betting rounds, but your payoff in this hand compared to the other hand is, well, minuscule. I don't think I would be too interested in this hand in this limit game. So that brings us around to the subject of implied odds. Implied odds take into account additional money that can potentially end up in the pot in subsequent rounds of the hand. So if this table is no limit hold'em, meaning a player can bet his entire stack at any opportunity, then playing this draw has a lot more value because, as you can see, your opponent has you outstacked, so his effective stack can basically double you up. In other words, to call 20 cents at 3-1 odds here could actually earn you nearly $5 if your opponent has something like Ace-Ace, Ace-8, 6-6, 8-8, or even Ace-King or Ace-Queen. You can never be too accurate about implied odds, but the more you understand your opponents in these situations and what they might do, the more you can take advantage of a big hand like this. You know, playing draws can often result in big or at least controversial pots like this one at the 2009 Paddy Power Poker Irish Open. Some you will win and some you will lose, but over time, making positive expectation decisions in each drawing situation will go a long way to making you a profitable player. Hope that helps you the next time you find yourself in a draw. And to learn more about odds and draws, check out more videos and articles at the Poker School at paddypowerpoker.com.